I grew up through 3 different religions. So I was born a Thai Buddhist, then raised as a Thai Muslim, and then was adopted by a British stepfather when I was about 8 or 9 years old. And he was obviously Christian. So that gave me a lot of exposure to a lot of different types of food. I didn't know it at the time how fortunate I was to be exposed to these type of food. And it also made me realize that, your religion really defines what you eat. And because of that, what you eat in some ways define who you are.
Top is the most eloquent chef that I know. He talks a lot. He talks a lot to everyone. He even is not afraid to share all his cooking techniques to a stranger like me. That is why we became very good friends after I started eating at Freebird, and I soon became his most frequent customer. I love his food because he tries his best. For a simple thing like a pasta or French fry, he could even spend prep for 2 to 3 days to make sure that it's the best that the customer can ever find in Bangkok. Michelle is very, very young. She's only 24. She is one of the pastry chefs in Suring, and by the time she left Suring, she was already preparing and creating recipes of pastry, bread, and dessert to put on a 2-star Michelin menu.
I've come to realize that it's not because of your nationality that dictates who you are. It's actually your palate. Because of the world we live in today, everyone's crisscrossing nations and everything. You can actually be from a different country but be used to tasting a certain type of food. So you could be almost Indian, but you lived in Japan all your life. You're mostly accustomed to Japanese food. And that's what a lot of people they don't realize. And that's why I always going back to the line of authenticity, what does that actually mean?
So I'm from the island of Borneo, and I'm actually from a small town called Kuching, and it's actually part of Malaysia. So because it's part of Malaysia, as you know, it's kind of a cultural mixing pot. So there's this dish called the nasi lemak, and it consists of coconut rice and sambal on the side. If you were to go to KL and ask people where to get the most authentic nasi lemak, they would probably tell you the Malay community. Whereas for our family growing up, we ate my grandmother's nasi lemak. However, my grandmother is Chinese. And if I were to make nasi lemak and sell it in Bangkok 10 years down the line, would people call my nasi lemak authentic?
Growing up in Thailand on an island in Phuket, and then moving to the UK in a countryside like the Isle of Wight was 2 very contrasting places, and that was a great life experience for me. But even now, I'm still not quite sure whether I'm more Thai or more British, because every time I'm in Thailand, I feel like a British person, and every time I'm in the UK, I feel like a Thai person. So I guess there's, I'm not the only one. There's loads of people who are in a very similar situation than I am. So this journey of cooking for me is a journey of self-discovery, because I'm still trying to find who I am.
Alright, not bad.
It's Taiwanese hot dog.
What's the bun?
Sticky rice.
Really? That's why I say it's like sticky rice. Really good.
Wow. That is so different to every hot dog I've ever had.
Yeah.
Where is the line of authenticity? How far back in history do you have to go with one particular dish or item or even an ingredient to be able to call something authentic? And people forget sometimes that every classical dish used to be a modern dish at one point in its own history, whether it's creme brulee or pad thai. Every time something new has been created, it gets to a phase of its own product life before it becomes a classic. And that's why we're calling our cooking modern territorial. What is that?
It's the thing on your teeth, like
这里面
hold your teeth.
the red bit.
But I think this one is swordfish.
Yeah,
Yeah.
starfish.
From Japan or from Taiwan? Taiwan. 海蛎是南部养. This is like some Anthony Bourdain shit. Fucking eating sushi next to a market at 7 a.m.
Oh wow! What the fuck?
30块，妹妹啊。
Too many good things. We'll just get these four, G.
再拿2斤好吧?
Tell them it's too many good things.
Fuck
You have a lot of
my
things
life.
here.
You have a lot. Honestly, if I'm not Thai, I would come to Taiwan and open TER RA in Taiwan.
TER RA's first pop-up was actually last year during Chinese New Year in me and Michelle's hometown in Kuching. It was actually a very simple phone call because I knew they were going back and I was going back. And Kuching didn't have many interesting things because there are only very little people in the city. So I just called Top and asked him, casually, why don't you just cook for everyone in Kuching? And he didn't even think about it and he said yes immediately. So in the end, we created together the greatest fine dining event that probably Kuching has ever seen. So I think they are not only talented chefs, but they are passionate and they make things happen. Pop-ups in Bangkok is not new, but modern territorial cuisine is pretty new because there are not many chefs who take local ingredients and interpret it in a way that is so international. I think after 1 or 2 pop-ups, it created like some excitement within the community. Just for March alone, they are having a pop-up every week.
So the meal tonight is literally 100% Thai ingredients. We're not using any olive oil. We're not using anything from any expat countries. From the dairy, from the cheese, everything we have from Thailand. So hopefully by the end of it, we'll have a very Western meal, but completely Thai ingredients. And that's exactly what TER RA is about. Using Thailand as a landscape, as a limitation for our inspiration to see what's available.
As chefs, we dictate what the customers eat. So in saying that, I feel that chefs have a social responsibility to source our produce from the best places. And because of that, we have the option to choose from farmers and suppliers with good practices. Aside from going local, what we are actually doing sociologically is we're creating jobs for farmers and giving them a better life. So we also had the opportunity to visit a chicken farm up in the mountains. Basically, what they're trying to do now is give job opportunities to the Aboriginals living outside of the cities and providing them with the opportunity to make a better life for themselves. And these chickens were incredible. They were given 1 square meter per chicken. Most free-range farms give you 1 square meter for 10 chickens, and that's considered free range. And by doing this, people who are producing your food makes amazing quality produce, it trickles down into the chefs who get to work with amazing produce, and then you end up having a great plate of food made from amazing produce.
So basically the idea of the pop-up and the whole purpose of the pop-up is we wanted to go on a journey of self-discovery. We wanted to see what was possible with Southeast Asian ingredients, starting with Thailand. We wanted to push the boundaries of local ingredients wherever they may be. And by using modern techniques, we could probably shed new light on really old ingredients. And we think that, something like this is going to be absolutely incredible. So territorial cuisine for me is just the name for the genre of cuisine that has been around for forever. If you think about it, territorial cuisine is the first form of cuisine, it's the first form of cooking. To cook what's available around you, what's in season. That is what territorial cuisine is.